Today with us on Stool Talk, we're honored to have a legendary coach out of Northwest Ohio, Toledo, Ohio. A coach who has over 50% of his wins. Only a few of the coaches, very few, has took multiple teams to the state championship. One who's a pillar in his community. Today with us, we're honored to have the one, the only Coach Earl Morris. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing fine.
So, Coach, you've been a part of the basketball community for so long. You've been putting in all the hard work. You've been developing young men, getting programs together. How has it been just being away from the game? Do you miss it?
Yeah, in a way I do, but for the last 5 or 6 years, I've been coaching junior high track and cross country. Just
Yeah.
something to stay busy. When it was time for me to get out of basketball, it was time to go because a lot of things that happened that I don't discuss about it, but I had a good career and I'm just hanging with the kids, which I might do one more year, and then totally I'll be done.
Yeah, and that's one thing that makes you different from a lot of the coaches is because you pour into the kids. You have a great heart. A lot of people don't know that. They don't understand that. They might see the demeanor. They might see the intensity. They might see just the overall view, but they don't really know how you impacted a lot of lives. Where did this coaching journey for you start?
I started in 1972 at Robinson Junior High. The first 2 years of coaching, I was working for the YMCA, and a gentleman named the late Ray Lothry, who gave me a shot to coach over at Robinson Junior High. And at that particular time, I was in the Toledo, and I came in Toledo in 1972 or 71, and Clarence Price was helping me coach at Robinson. But that's when I started in 1972, and then 2 years later, I went to Scott High School.
Man, so you were a part of the Harlem Globetrotters, correct?
Yeah, not the Harlem, Marcus Haynes. Marcus Haynes broke away from the Harlem Globetrotters. He had his own team, and I was with him for 2.5 years.
Yeah, we used to hear about that back in the day as players from the older people. Like, do you know your coach? He used to be traveling, playing basketball and all this. They used to tell us all this, and we used to just be shocked. Like we had heard about you being a part of the Mac Cumbers with their state championship team and being in part
Hmm.
different things like that. One thing I always wanted to ask you later on, being a part of the athletes in '70s and '80s group, seeing all the Macumber players, all the different players over the years, and seeing the games. A couple months ago, the game had resurfaced, the Macumber and the St. Francis game, where it was 13-11. Is it true that you implement that strategy?
No, this was we. It was a little surprise to us because the coach decided he was going to do that, and a guy on the team, me and a guy named Fred Kugler, was assistant coach, and we couldn't believe it. We didn't believe he was going to do it. And then he practiced this and practiced, and we were surprised, and he done it, and it was really a surprise to everyone. But that was a decision he made because the big kid, we had a big kid about 6'7" that had mono, and he didn't think he could win without the big guy.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a game like somebody had found the recording and actually played it, so I got to see really how the game went. You've been involved with different areas of coaching and different areas of basketball. What was it that kept you motivated and kept you focused over the years with the different players that you had? Because each era, each year brings different players.
Well, what it was is that I started out, like I said, at Robinson, and I went to Scott, and I was assistant coach on the JV. And Mr. Williams come and asked me one day. He said, "How would you like to be the freshman coach?" And I thought he was joking. And I said, "Well, I'd like the opportunity to be the freshman coach." And he gave me the freshman job. In the first year, uh, we went undefeated, and people don't realize. And I ended up in the freshman level. I was 113 and 11.
Wow.
and we won 6 freshman championships. I was undefeated 4 or 5 years because I had some great players, man. I had Donnie Dobbs, I had David Smith, I had a lot of great people, man. And none of these kids today that could not deal with the kids and went through because at times I was difficult to deal with, and I always thought everything had to be perfect until I decided that the kids said, Coach, we're
Yeah.
going to do this. And I said, okay. So I mellow as the years go by, but the kids today could not compete with the kids we had back in the day. They couldn't do it
Yeah.
because of stuff we did. You know, we practiced all the time. It wasn't no missing practice. You had to do your homework. It wasn't no just laying around. Every day we had study table. That was mandatory.
Yeah.
That was mandatory. If you didn't come to study table, you didn't practice.
Yeah. Who do you think that you got, or was it a coach that you got your coaching style from, or is it one that you just developed?
I developed my own style. Well, in a sense, I took a little from Mr. Williams. Uh, but most of the time, I believe in two things. You gonna be in shape and you got to play defense. If you couldn't play defense for me, you wasn't gonna play.
Yeah.
We very seldom a team would score over 50 points on us. You know,
How was it having to deal with the players and the challenging living situations? Like many people probably ain't even understand over all the decades that you have coached, like not having food, money, shoes. Sometimes players lived in bad living situations. Sometimes people needed
well,
rides,
well,
but you had to do all that.
well, the thing about it, that was part of you. We had a good staff.
Yeah.
I had some real good people. I had a guy named Neil Abernathy. I got Antoine Johnson, Ramon McBray. I had guys that George Snelling. All the guys. All I had to do was call them, and they would do. We
Yeah.
picked kids up. We bought kids tennis shoes and whatever the other kids that didn't have. Everybody had the same thing. So it wasn't no point where you had one pair of shoes because every year we would go and order shoes and everybody had the same thing. We treated everybody the same.
Yeah, and I feel like those that was close to the program knew that, but overall people ain't really knew what you guys were doing and the impact and the influence you had. Just like at the end of the year, we used to go to that steak place over there on Renner, open
Yeah,
bucket or something. What do they call that?
yeah, open bucket. And then the thing what people don't understand, the night before the city championship, they spent the night in my house
Yeah,
in the basement. We fed them and everything because you wasn't. We kept them out of the streets, and next morning we got up and they had to be to school by 8 o'clock. But
yeah,
we did a lot of things that people didn't understand, but we put a lot of effort into it. But like I say, and I tell you and anybody else, when kids come back and say thank you and appreciate it, like a kid had McDonald's Thursday, and Coach Hill, I love you. Without you, I wouldn't have made it. That's all that matters to me. See these kids, like I coach Cornell Smith. He's the principal at Scott.
yeah,
I coach James Townsend. He works out at TU. I coach Matt Davis. He's a big wheel at Ford. So all of these kids, I really enjoy working with them. And today I can see laugh and joke and have fun. And we just sit and talk about it. Even the visitors, when I was in Scott, they coming out now, we sit and laugh and joke and talk about, you remember this game, you remember this, and people don't realize that we were selling out Savage Hall before the college people were selling it out.
yeah. And that was another question I had. How does it feel like when you see the players that you have coached go to the pros that's coaching? Like you see Dennis Springs just won the championship coach of the year. When you see the players that you had a hand in coaching, you seeing them excel, how does that make you feel as well?
Well, it make you feel good because Dennis is the coach at Southview, and the first question they asked him was, "How your coaching style?" He said my coaching style gonna be like Coach E. He always called me Coach E. He said that's my style. You get up and down the floor, and he's doing a job. And a lot of these other people coaching now, and they doing different things. But like I said, it's all about being kids being successful.
Yeah.
Everybody's not going to the NBA, but it's all about kids being successful. And as long as I see kids doing well, I'm good.
Yeah, and one thing I had just interviewed Dennis as well. One thing we were talked about, like we never knew what you were trying to implement inside us, but you made sure we was disciplined. You made sure we was focused. Your approach was harsh and aggressive, but it was out of love and it was out of sternness, but it allowed us to see it made us better players because now as we growing up, they losing that effort, that tentative and not being focused. So like coaches always say, y'all understand what we telling y'all when y'all get older, and we definitely understood. Like y'all was pushing us because y'all seen something deep inside us that we might didn't even see in ourselves, and y'all wanted to get it out of us. So that it came into fruition. Like that's what you was doing, and we see as today as we grown.
Well, actually, if you look at it today, the kids today couldn't deal with us because we were a little more of a discipline.
Yeah,
And, we always checked because when I first started at Scott, I worked at the YMCA. I could come to the games and all the time. The kids knew if they wanted something, we'd help. But it's all about, like I said, I'm really proud of what I've done. As long as a kid come back and tell me, Coach Earl, thank you. That's all that matters to me. And seeing most of my kids that I thought that I had at Rogers, I had to go to Rogers, man, and restart the whole program. But
yeah,
all them kids now are successful in Atlanta, some here, some there, and whenever they come back home, they gonna find me, like Damon Powell and all them. And other day I haven't heard it from him in a while, and I got a call from Robert Sanders.
yeah.
So these guys knew that they gonna find me. They won't know where I'm at if I go to a game, a football or basketball game. They always respectable.
Yeah, definitely. And when you went over there and changed that program around, you brought them a level of winning that they hadn't seen going to the state multiple times. I'm talking about you had this city united. We was taking bus rides down there to root y'all on and cheer y'all on. That was something that they seen. That's why, this was a bit really big, opportunity for me to get you on there, because you're humble, you're selfless. You don't always talk about what you did, and you have a lot of
Right.
accolades like like one of the winningest coaches, your resume, all what you do, but you have imparted into the city, you have imparted into players, and you have, been viewed on the page. They have your picture, they talk about you and different stuff like that. So we want to just reach out and let you know we appreciate you for what all you have done off the court that people don't even know. How many people you done helped out, how many people that you done been there for that, it goes without saying because you just doing what's inside your heart.
But it's not the point of I what I've done for the kids. The people from the outside would never know. I never talked about what I did for so and so kid. And kids come around. My success, as long as you guys are successful, that's all that counts to me. I don't care about what my accolades are. Just like I just been inducted, which you didn't know, in the Rogers Hall of Fame. I've been as a coach in my basketball team that went to the state. It's been inducted, and the other one is ready to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Wow, congratulations. Wow, that's big.
Yeah, yeah. So that group was in the Hall of Fame, and then the Maycomer group we had just went into the City League Hall of Fame and won the state.
Wow.
So, it's not to the point of people say what you do and all like this. I have my buddies up here, we laugh and joke, but I never brag about what I do because whatever you do, the record and everything speak for itself.
Yeah. Definitely. With you being in the game so long and you done seen pros before they was pros, Jim Jackson and the Donnie Dobbs and all the different players, did you see that inside of them before it actually came to bar? Did you see that they had it in them over the years?
Well, well, I knew Jimmy was going to be good because he had more publicity. I did not know that Donnie Dog was going to be that good. I'm going to tell you the truth. When he come as a freshman and he was quiet and then I ended up meeting his family and everything we talking, but I didn't know Donnie Dog was going to be that good. And I'm going to tell you, and I've had some great players like David Smith and Dennis Springs and Robert Sanders, Tony Kennard, Clement Owens, Devontae Pratt Daly. But the most amazing athlete was your boy Damon Powell. I've
Yeah.
never seen an athlete like this. I've never seen, I've been around a long time. I didn't travel long. I've never seen an athlete. He
Yeah.
didn't know how good he could be, and he was just playing on natural ability. Yeah, and I, when you come home, we're gonna go to Roger. I want to show you that dunk he did down in Bowling Green. I didn't believe it. I did not believe it. I mean, and the people still talk about it. We got a picture up on the wall at Rogers, and he caught that ball, man. It's just unbelievable, man. And he told me one game we was down in Bowling Green, and we were losing by 22 points. We got down to the fourth quarter with I think with 30, 20, no, about 10 seconds to go, and I called timeout. And I called a play. He said, Coach, we don't need a play. I said, who you talking to? He said, Coach, we don't need a play. He said, I'm ready to win this game. I gave the ball to Damon. Damon went to 3-pointer and told me at the end, Coach, I told you I'm going to win this game.
Yeah. Damon Powell,
But,
something. Shout out to him.
yeah, but like I said, I didn't coach him, when I got the Scott. But, brother, the best ever I've seen. With Damon Powell, I'm always good. But the best I ever seen was Chris Paul in this.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's the best. I'm gonna tell you right now. You guys didn't see what we saw in practice and everything.
mm,
That's the best I've seen. If Chris had himself mind wind together, he could have been in the NBA. Two people that should have been in the NBA was Chris Polinus and John White.
yeah. I heard about both of them over the years. So did
If
y'all
they
have a
had any,
game? Did y'all have a game where Chris Polnix was going against BJ Armstrong?
yeah, yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
heard.
Chris went up there, and B.J. Armstrong them had two 7-footers, twin brothers.
Wow.
Chris walked in there, and at the end, I had to call the score in, and the coach was sitting in the room when I called the score in. He told the coach, "I ain't never seen nothing like this in my life." He said, "I ain't never seen nothing like an individual like that." He said, "I ain't never seen nothing." Chris put it on his back. He won't beat your Armstrong them out. He will. Even the people up there started cheering for Chris. The people up in the stand say, "Where has he come from?" Yeah, yeah. So it's amazing to see these kids and see the basketball. And if we could go back and show all you guys what y'all did to the younger kids today, they wouldn't believe it. They
Yeah.
wouldn't believe it. Practice today, they wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. Definitely. How do you think it's a chance that basketball, the state of basketball, can get back like that, or even
Nope,
get better
nope,
than what it is?
nope, nope. Because you don't have the coaches no more. You don't have the dedication. See, what's messing basketball up now is AAU. See, we didn't have AAU. During the summer, you was with your team. Half of these guys are with AAU a whole summer, and they guys are teaching them the wrong thing, putting them in different positions, and that's what doing now. AAU is controlling basketball.
Yeah.
So,
what would you say to a young coach that's looking to get into coach or a coach that's coaching? What would you say to him? What advice or motivation would you be able to give him?
First thing, Bud, you got to be the boss. You got to have good assistant coaches, and you have to put time and effort. And I'll tell anybody right now, if you're a young man and want to be a coach and you got a wife and kids, it's hard. It's
Yeah,
hard. Because the time thing is different. It's hard. And
yeah,
I went to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get home at night till 9:30.
yeah.
That was Monday through Thursday, and then I had a game on Friday, and then sometimes we had a game on Saturday.
Yeah.
You got to put effort into it, man, if
Yeah,
you want to be successful.
yeah. Shout out to your wife too, Miss Moore. She always was there for you, supporting you and had your back.
Yeah, yeah,
Always
yeah,
strong. That was my first sign of that's how it's supposed to be. Not, other sports you got coaches getting into it, they arguing at practice and all this other stuff. But seeing how y'all marriage was and how y'all unity was something for us to see as, young kids growing up.
yeah. But you know one thing, as coaches, we never argued. Sister, coaches from other school, man, we laughed and joked until we played each other.
Yeah.
We didn't argue. Like I said, your wife has to be in there with you 100% if you're gonna be a coach. If she's not, then you got a problem.
Hmm. Man, last question before we get you up out of here. What would you be able to say to the youth if you can give them words of encouragement? Whatever comes to your heart, what would you say to the youth today?
The one thing about it, do the best you can. First thing about it, make sure you get your education. Everybody's not gonna play in the NBA. Everybody's not gonna play. Get an education. Education carry you a long way. And I don't care how good you are, get your education and go somewhere where you get an education you can play. Everybody's not going to Ohio State. Everybody's not going to Michigan. Everybody's not going to UCLA. If you watch the little schools in Ohio like Mount Union and all them, they send just as many people to the pros as the big schools. Go somewhere you can play and get an education.
Yeah. We thank you. Today we're spotlighting you for all your accolades, all your achievement, and for your great coaching history and legacy that you have embedded in the city of Toledo and the area of Northwest Ohio. We give you your flowers today. Like I said, all the work you put in and it's showing, you know. Yeah, so we thank you for this opportunity. Tell the missus I said hey, and you keep on doing good, stay in good health, and may God protect y'all, keep y'all and cover y'all and give y'all favor in this year and this season.
Okay, you do the same thing, and anything you need, give me a call.
Okay, I got you. Thanks, coach.
All right, thank you.